Hello everyone, welcome back to a new replay cast. Today we're going to be having a look at a best of 3 played between Trap and TY. So we see TY open up with a proxy barracks and Trap opening up with what I assume is going to be a 19 scout. Okay, this is an interesting one. Now 19 scout usually is designed to block natural bases from what I'm aware of. I actually thought it was 18 scout. I feel like this might actually just be too late. I think he messed this up. Yeah, okay, this is not what I thought it would be. He's gonna play Nexus before core with a late scout. This is extremely risky, honestly. He also is not gonna be able to block this natural if there was a regular natural timing, was there? Usually the CC goes down at 138 to 140. Yeah, I was thinking the scout timing is like too late. It's not a 19 probe, it's an 18 probe. So he goes in, sees the lack of a barracks, and this is gonna trigger him. Because when you're playing against a barracks first proxy, ideally you have a core before for gate. In case it's a proxy repair, honestly against most things you'd rather have not a core before gate, a core before nexus, excuse me. But I guess in this case he's gonna have to make work with this. I feel like Stargate is a real option here for him though, because warp gate. Okay, let me just try to explain my thoughts here for a bit. So ideally you have faster units and slightly faster warp gate as well. That would be ideal when you're playing against a proxy barracks. Okay, he's gonna go Stargate but with a warp gate first. So I don't completely dislike this as long as the Stargate doesn't get spotted. Even if the Stargate does get spotted, I don't even completely dislike that. The problem I have is that he didn't build the Stargate before the warp gate. Now, there's gonna be quick pressure. He doesn't know what type of quick pressure. All he knows is that there's something proxied and that the factory wasn't at home. So if I was Trap, I would be thinking of either Hellions or a really quick mine drop or even something like a tank push. Now, Adept move out does manage to spot these 2 Hellions coming in. Oracle hasn't even started yet. I mean, that does not look good. Is he gonna go Phoenix or Oracle here is also another question. Adept moves across the map. What's he gonna do actually? He wanted to cancel CC. Man, this game is all over the place. Like, okay, now the Adepts are gonna come, or the Hellions are gonna come back home. It's gonna be a 4 mine drop with a fast armory, delayed CC. Now, if we look at this situation, how it is right now, Trap is in a good spot. Yes, 32 workers against 26. His Nexus is done. His Warp Gate is about to finish up. He shouldn't take a lot of damage from the Hellions. So the only thing that is left here to do damage is this mine drop. But that doesn't mean that it's not going to do any damage. I mean, it can do a lot of damage. We see a little bit of a slow response here by Trap. It's going to be fine though. Loses 2 workers. This is absolutely fantastic as a start, honestly. Loses what? Ah. This guy walked into the natural, so it was a triple mine drop in the main and the one in the natural did the actual damage. It was 1-1-2, so 4 kills in the main and 6 in the natural with this one. Now, I think if that one doesn't happen, I don't want to say this game is over, but the game is looking really freaking rough here for TY. Now though, I mean, Hellbat? Oh, of course he has the armory ready. You could just morph it into Hellbat. I've never seen this before. A Hellbat drop against boss. We have one more kill being achieved here. Yeah, like I was saying, I think even now, this is really playable for Trap. Like, he is up 4 workers still. The factory is on the map. Oh my god, that actually does suck. Another mine does end up burrowing in the main base. There's 2 medevacs. None of the medevacs have died. There's still some mines just sprinkled around the map, and mine production continues, which I really like, by the way. As long as your medevacs don't die, honestly just keep building mines and keep dropping them in, because it's just worth it. Mines are not that expensive. They're really, really cheap. And just getting a pull away with a mine is if you're gonna get one probe with it as well, it's probably worth it already. So here comes that mine drop. We have a little bit of a marine push coming in as well. 39 workers against 29. Good economical position here for Trap, who is gonna lose a stalker. No, micros it out in time. It's kind of microing two sides at the same time. I'm impressed. However, the mines do escape, manage to drop into the main base, kind of stopping the path. He wants to get the Oracle. If he gets the Oracle, that would be absolutely terrible. The Oracle is slightly faster than the Phoenixes, so if these air units fly together for a while, usually what happens, does he see it? Is that the Oracle dies. Oh! I don't actually think that would have done anything. All these Phoenixes are still full HP, so that mine wouldn't even have killed anything. But it's not useful to trigger it either, because it won't show itself. Okay, mine gets another Stalker here. 2 kills on this mine. He only has a single Oracle. This Oracle has probably cast like 7 or 8 revelations already that killed mines. Now, 45 workers against 38. If we take a look at how this game went down, like the unit loss step is going to be pretty well. So we see 20 units lost. Now, also 14 workers lost. It's hard to say honestly exactly what is going down here, like what has happened, and how the situation is right now. I feel like it might be okay for Trap. Stim is extremely delayed. The mine count, even though it's been very high this game already, I mean we have lost what, 10 mines so far. The mine count with the initial push, there's still 4 mines actually. So I guess it's gonna be fine. You're gonna have 4 mines. It's gonna be okay. I was gonna say there's not a lot of factory units, but 4 mines is actually pretty significant. Stim being late sucks, because this third base is gonna be mining for a while already. We're gonna have, how many gateways is this? 4, 5, 6 gateways with blink. Big blink StarCraft. We have a lot of Phoenixes as well. There's a lot of things that Trap has that he can be annoying with, and knowing how Trap plays PvT, that is exactly what he's going to be doing. He's just going to be super annoying for the next few minutes. I mean, this is a significant air squad. Like, this air squad is really powerful, and it can keep an army at home defending a third command center. It can pick off reinforcements very easily. If you don't have turrets in your mineral lines, you can lose a bunch of workers to the oracles. Like, yeah, it's just a powerful army. Now, on the other hand, there's also Blink Stalkers, which should be capable of doing a good job delaying this type of push out. So you have an army that can basically pick off reinforcement, and then you have another army that just delays that move out, meaning that more reinforcements will be able to get picked up. A little bit of something micro there coming out of Trap is going to end up getting 5, 6, 7, no, just 6 workers for now. It's going to fly straight into a turret. He's going to lose another. Oh my god, there was a mine there as well. So loses 2 Phoenixes for 6 workers. Not ideal, but as I think the focal point of this game is going to be the upcoming push, I don't even mind it too much, as it puts the next push a little more pressure behind it, a little more all in. There's no combat shield yet. There's a crap ton of stalkers, there's 2 batteries, robotics facility on the way, +1 halfway done, as well as charge getting close to being finished. Oh, this is a mistake by Trap. He's out of position, completely out of position here. He has no vision on the map. He's gonna get some vision here. Revelation perhaps? Relevation? No, not happening. There's a crap ton of stalkers. 24 stalkers against what? 6 marauders. Blink forward here, coming out of Trap. Loses both of his oracles as well though. It's not quite brilliant. I mean, with these phoenixes he can just pick up these marauders if he wants. He's gonna pick up a tank. These marines don't have combat shield yet. I think Trap actually is in a pretty decent position here. You should not continue fighting in these tank shots though. No need, especially if your ground weapons level 1 is this close to finishing. 6 zealots get warped in. As +1 finishes up, +1 armor starts. I mean, there is a prism, right? Or no, it just started. 2 tanks being kind of pulled back. I think Trap is in a really nice position actually. Okay, not really nice, but in an okay position. I mean, army supply is pretty even. There is the marauder count is growing, which is somewhat worrying. There's still a bunch of mines in random locations. I feel like they could be moved away at this point. It's not like 3 phoenixes are going to be able to do a lot. Here comes harassment with these stalkers. Oh, Trap's actually going to be able to catch part of the army. Losing a lot of stalkers in the process though. Really before the fight even starts, these zealots are charging way too far forward as well. Sentries are not there. I think Trap just thinks he can walk over his opponent, but this is a really sloppy engagement. I mean, where's the prism even? Okay, it is here. It's warping in 2 Archons. This was world's worst coordinated attack. Like, he just lost a bunch of zealots for free, 5, 6 stalkers on the left as well, and it started well with kind of catching out this army on the middle of the map. Now I'm not too sure though. I mean, there's 4 tanks, there's 1 or 3 tanks, 1 upgrades. Liberator coming out, ghosts are on the way, won't be available for this fight yet. Once these lips siege up though, these Archons are going to be a lot less used. This is not a good fight here by Trap. This is not good. He's gonna end up losing a lot of stuff, and he had a fort base as well behind us. He could be super careful. Storm on the way, armor was almost done. This was the absolute anti-timing. He was gonna get so many valuable things for his army, and really just a powerful economical position as well. We have a Fort CC on the way here for 2A. I love this run by. This is good. Trying to pull his opponent back. And even if it doesn't pull his opponent back, the least it does is make sure the rally goes towards his 3rd base, even though it might only be temporary. So you get 6 workers, diverge the attention of TY, who is now just pushing forwards like, alright, killed your entire army, time to siege up. There is a major nuclear battery over here. This is the problem in very small armies, is that your storms aren't quite as useful, but this immortal with these Archons are definitely useful. Powered by nuclear battery. Good storms on the army, but there's a bunch of medevacs still healing, and with the tanks as a backbone of this army, I mean, there's about 3 stalkers, 1 immortal, 2 zealots at this point. Probably not going to be enough. TY also has 2-2 on the way. Fort is about to finish up. Yeah, he's 5, 6. He has 6, 7 barracks. That's such a high barracks count. So his production is fantastic as well. Even if he doesn't kill his opponent here, he'd still be in a fantastic spot. But he does kill his opponent here, and takes the lead in this series 1-0. Alright, after that interesting first game, we're here map number 2. Ice and Chrome, another proxy Rex. Man, TY doesn't let up. I'd be surprised to see a similar opener coming out of Trap though. That late scout with a Nexus before core is super uncommon. I don't actually understand the purpose of the late scout whatsoever. In that case, honestly, I just don't know what it's for. I mean, if you think back of... this doesn't mean that he necessarily lost because of the opener, but I actually don't think he lost because of the opener. I think he lost with his weirdly coordinated attack. I mean, his early game really wasn't that bad. He lost a lot of workers, but he was playing against practically a 1-base TY. I think the main issue he had, there was a weird attack while he was getting storm. Fort base was up, armor was like 15 seconds, they finished like 10 seconds after that fight. Like, it just makes no sense to do what he did there. I don't understand that. Now, that doesn't mean that, okay, he's gonna play Nexus. He wants to play Nexus before core again. But he can't. He absolutely can't. Yeah, okay, he scouts in time this time. He was slow with the reaction again. This core is not quick. Core takes 36 seconds. I think this went down at 128. Now, that means the core is gonna finish at 204. I believe Trap would struggle mightily against a really close proxy barracks with a Reaper. I think this barracks is not close enough to really give him any trouble, but the standard timing for things like Cybernetics core to finish is 2 minutes. This is gonna be 4 or 5 seconds late. That sounds like I'm nitpicking, but I think these things matter a lot when you're playing against players that are as good as TY, and you give a player like TY a Reaper, or, you know, this guy gets to build a bunker. It's just gonna be rough. Like, this bunker might finish now because of those 4 or 5 extra seconds. You see, this Reaper is gonna get more time than it ever would have. Now, Trap's micro with these probes is pretty good. It's actually really good. I feel like TY could have maybe dived a bit deeper, but he got a probe there. I mean, Oh, this is sloppy. This is really sloppy by TY. That should not have happened. Absolutely, that should not have happened. Okay, so we have the Stalker, battery pylon, 2 Reapers in this bunker, and you just attack the battery, no? What? Okay, now right. So he cancels or he salvages the bunker because he didn't believe. I trust in his judgment more than I trust in mine. So I think TY was right to salvage that, but I mean, if this response just stops your build dead in its tracks, I think the build sucks. I mean, he built a battery and a Stalker and that's it, and then you give up on your hopes and dreams. CC delayed for no reason. He's gonna get another mine drop going, this time without an armory. I'm not seeing it happen, guys. 33 workers against 27. See, this is still gonna have to turn into an orbital. This is... I don't want to say disastrous, but... it is not a disaster, you know? Yeah, it's not good. It's not good. This is gonna be really important. This drop, and we see the Phoenixes are out in force. Gonna pick up this Hellion now. It's nice that TY gets a warning that there are Phoenixes. It might change his movement with this medevac, with these 4 mines, because this really is going to be a very important moment, a pivotal moment in the game, where we get to see if the early game kind of gets in favor of Trap even more. I love this move with the Reapers. He sends in the 2 Reapers, he forces the Phoenixes to move away here, also forces 2 lift off, so none of these Phoenixes can actually do a single lift right now, but he almost dragged this shot into the probes. Yeah, if there was an armory here and these guys were invisible, I think this would have been really good. Now it's completely fine for Trap. He lost 3 workers and he killed 4 mines. That's really as good as you're gonna get it, honestly. I mean, usually you trade 1 worker for 1 mine, and here he also got the medevac, so really a massive improvement over last game's early game. He's once again going into that Forged Twilight, 4 gas. Could be getting those Blink Stalkers again as well. He seems to really like getting big Blink Stalker counts, by the way. Like, a lot of the time when we've seen people play these Stargate into Blink Stalker builds, we see them kind of stop at like 6-7 Blink Stalkers, but Trappy builds like 15-16. I think last game he had 24 Blink Stalkers just running around, and then a couple of sentries. And really the thing that he does is he kind of plays around with chokes and high grounds and stasis wards, and he tries to delay your army from moving out, and a couple of sentries and force field here, force field there. It's not going to be the case this time, as we see +1 armor as well as charge. Oh man, Trap has so many different styles, so many different builds. I referred to him before as a guy that has the control of the builds as if he is a one-trick pony. You know, when you see him play a build like this, like Phoenix into Charge Archon, it feels like he's always making the right decisions and he's doing so many things correct. It feels like he's been playing this build all his life, and then the next game he does a DT drop and it looks like he's been playing the DT drop all of his life. You know, he's just such good control over all of his build orders, and his decision making is... Ooh. Hello? Completely missed this Banshee. It's mech. TY, you absolute clown, we're meching. Banshee. Is this the second Banshee? That first 7 kills is a big deal, by the way. If this is a bio game, this would be a way bigger deal, but The thing with mech is that Terran doesn't really have timings until they have a timing really late into the game. But they can just move across the map with like 4 tanks and 7 marines and go like, oh, I think this might be a good play. Like, he just gets slaughtered by like 10 charge lots, you know? Like, this army would absolutely crap on this army if it's ever caught moving and not in position. So it's way too risky. Even when it's in position, I think this army looks pretty flimsy, pretty vulnerable to big charge lot things. And we see a bunker going down, so TY probably agrees with me. Decent depot wall as well over here. Now Banshee is gonna help out with the DPS. As Trap decides to move back a little bit. Hallucination scouts. The Banshee, the Vikings. Double armory coming out. Raven on the way. Not really for detection, I guess anti-armor missile. Actually, it could also be for interference matrix, but I don't know. If there's Archons out already, you know he can just get a single Templar feedback. I think it's not even bad to get a single Templar. Just let it get 200 energy, then feedback all the Banshees and the Raven. There's like a crap ton of energy. It's done pretty quickly. It's free damage basically. Free real estate, guys. Okay, we see a switch into what? Triple Robo and Blink. Trap actually has a very interesting style against mech that I recall watching years ago. I want to say 2018 or 2019 maybe, where he plays Storm, I believe, against his opponent's mech, which I thought was insanely cool. So there's a couple of types of mech that there are, right? You got your tank Hellbat stuff, maybe with some air units for support, the Banshee here and there, some Ravens, maybe a Liberator, whatever, doesn't really matter. Then on the other hand you have the Hellion Cyclone stuff, and both of these require vastly different responses. So against Hellion Cyclone, I would say you'd like to have something with some powerful range. You'd like to have your Stalker Colossus maybe, you know, something like that. But against Hellbat tank, you want to have your big Archon counts, lots of Zealots, a bunch of Immortals preferably. And there's also some Thor Hellbat Banshee, which I think Uthermal and Clan played for a bit. It's not that popular, but that also it's better to have Immortals versus that. And Terrans can kind of switch between the tank stuff and the Cyclone stuff, so those always needs to be careful. Now, Trap kind of circumvents this problem by playing very aggressive, very heavy on the Immortal count, getting a bunch of Archons, so he's ready for tank Hellbat mech, and then he's like, you know what, if you're gonna go Hellbat Cyclone or Hellion Cyclone, I'm gonna get Storm. And I'm just gonna storm you. You kind of get at the range that you also have with Colossus with the storm. It's a lot of instant damage, very good for zoning. As we see those, the Cyclone attack damage, or the damage upgrade of the Cyclone is being researched. So perhaps a couple of Cyclones are in the works here. I think this is 8 factory, right? Yes, it is. One about to finish up. We have the follow up straight going into Tempest now. Or carrier spread. It's gonna be Tempest, I think. Now, so you might say, well, it's nice that he has Storm in case of Hellion Cyclone, but Kevin, that's not the case here at all. I mean, he's playing against tank Hellion, and even in that case, the Templar are still very useful, because a good Storm on top of all of these Hellions is gonna do so much damage so quick. I mean, they only have 90 health. That's a bit of a sloppy thing to happen. 5 Cyclones are on the way. Oh, this is a massive Zealotron. We're actually doing a crap ton of damage. I did not see that. 19 workers do go down. Bunker is most likely not gonna go down. Has to lip siege up behind this base. With the help of the battery. Only gonna lose a single Stalker. No, it's gonna lose 2 Stalkers. Meanwhile, we have Trap pushing forward. It's a semi-base trade scenario here. Carriers are being built though, so... Oh... If he gets this base, that would actually be massive. He really should have focused his base with his Stalkers. I don't think he's gonna get it, honestly. A good recall though back home. Immortals doing a lot of damage, Salads from the left, 2 Immortals more from the left, and the supply for TY is dwindling rather quickly, but Cyclones catch a big portion of this army as well, so really not that bad, I'd say, for TY in the end. Mindshot hits a bunch of these Salads. Carriers are on the way. Is there any upgrades for the carriers? No, there's not a single carrier upgrade yet. Now, is there any Templar left? So, I have been talking all game about these stupid Templar and how great they are against Hellion Cyclone, but now that there actually is Hellion Cyclone, there's not a single Templar remaining, and you see the difficulty that Trap has of catching this army, and running away is very scary as well, because the moment you start running away, your units are gonna basically start getting caught. So once again we see pretty decent damage coming out of these Cyclones, and these traits are not that bad here for TY, and there's too many mines, he can't just blink in either anymore. The anti-air here coming out of TY is not sufficient though when it comes to a carrier count above, I want to say 3. I think he might be able to deal with 3, but once we get the 4 or 5 carriers, I just don't understand how he's going to be able to deal with that. Cyclone count is very, very little. There's no Thors, there's no Vikings. This is a death carrier. No, it's not. No, it is. Cyclones with their range, capable of doing a lot of damage. Loses a lot of Cyclones in the process. There's no anti-air remaining right now. 2 Liberators are moving around. These 2 carriers are going to absolutely wreak havoc. So shoot these Liberators actually. Wouldn't be surprised if they get like 10-15 kills total while this fight is going on. Now Immortal Sentry moving forward. Cyclones actually taking out one of these carriers, but I think Trap might have just done it. Just slightly too strong of a ground army while TY was trying to transition into that Hellion Cyclone force. Is there a Thor out? No, there's not. This base is gonna fall. We see 9 workers being killed here by these 2 Liberators in total. Make that 12. As we see more and more Cyclones falling on the other side of the map. 69 workers against 44 right now. So even if TY pushes this back, he needs to attack across the map. And he has 4 Cyclones against 4 carriers currently. There's a bunch of Stalkers being warped in. So I don't understand why there's no upgrade for these carriers, but I don't think I even want to know. So we see 2 Liberators trying to do some damage to Interceptors, but it's not going to be enough as Trap takes game number 2 and ties up the series 1-1. Hello everyone, welcome back to the 3rd game of TY versus Trap. 1-1 is the score. As you saw a tense mech game in that last game, of course. Well, tense. It was an interesting game at least. Cool stuff by Trap indeed. Now we're going to be seeing what he's going to be doing on Eternal Empire. I was going to say this is one of the maps where it's actually possible to get that Nexus before the Cybercore as well, and that's exactly what we're going to be seeing here. And a lot of the time when we see an opener like this, it does end up leading into Stargate. With that extra gas that you receive from this opener, Stargate is just an opener that feels nice to follow this up with. So we're gonna take a look at it. This is very common, by the way. When people play this opener, they forget how quick they need to send down that worker. So he was floating 50 minerals. That's gonna hurt a little bit. As you can see, this Cybercore is almost done. So there's gonna be a significant supply block here, and there's definitely gonna be a timing in which that Reaper can do some damage. It would be worse if this was a barracks first. As it's a gas first, the Reaper's gonna arrive 3-4 seconds later. And as it's a very large map as well, it probably won't be able to do too much. TY decides, you know what, I'm not even going to try to get to the other side of the map. Didn't scout either. Now, guess first is interesting for a couple of reasons. The main reason, in my mind being, is that you skip the Marine, and your factory is faster than it usually is with a barracks gas Reaper, about 15 seconds faster. So any type of double Hellion play is just going to hit a lot faster, and that's indeed what we're going to be seeing. Now, very common is to see that Starport being proxied as well. That is not going to be the case here, as we see Trap move out with his first Adept straight away across the map. Second Adept is being kernel boosted. Are we going to see a third Adept? Yes, 3 Adepts. And most likely going to be an Oracle first here for Trap as well. Now Reaper's going to be able to kite this. Adept, of course, does tank 1 shot, so does need to be a little bit careful here. Tanks another shot, so 1 more shot, and that Reaper is adios. but for now it seems to be completely fine here. We have the scout coming out of trap, sees, hey, there's 2 Hellions there. I'm curious to see if he's gonna finish that or what his plan is. He's not gonna finish that. Instead he's gonna be moving forward with both of his adepts still, as there is a little bit of a double Hellion run by. Now, there is an Oracle on the way. That Oracle is going to be done in about 7-8 seconds. Double Gate is not going to provide a full wall as there's just no unit at home. Reaper on the, or Adept on the high ground is going to be able to deal with this Reaper. Oh, and the Hellion's going to the main base. If only they would have stayed in the natural, they might have been able to get a little bit more done, but now this Oracle should be able to deal with it. Meanwhile, on the other side of the map, we have these 2 Adepts at least stopping the mining from happening on this base. Trap's control with these first units is just way too good. It's absolutely unfair when you watch him play. So, altogether, if you take a look at the unit... Oh, okay, never mind. Oh no, no, I actually got the mine. I thought he was gonna lose it, lose an adept, but no. Ends up losing 1 adept. Now, if we take a look at what just happened, we see that 4 probes went down, 2 SCVs went down, there was no mining on the natural, Mule was delayed, and a couple of extra units went down for TY as well. So altogether I'd say this is a great start here for Trap, who is going to just go into a 3rd base, most likely going to go up to 3. Yes, there we go, 3 Oracles, he loves that so much. There's 2 more Hellions here. I'm not a massive fan of these delayed Hellions. Yeah. I was just checking to make sure he did lose the first 2, but yeah, I don't know. It feels like it just delays your barracks or your 3rd CC for no real reason. As I mean, Hellion into mine into Hellion isn't really supposed to do too much in my mind, especially if they're this damaged already. Like, what are they going to be able to do? Is Hellion is gonna straight up die? I mean, a probe could kill this in 1 shot. That Hellion needs to go home as well. Here comes the push out of Trap though. 3 Oracles, 3 Stalkers, so Vikings can be attacked, but Hellion ends up going down. Where's the mine? Is there still a mine? There is still 1 mine. It's on top of the ramp here for TY. Now these Stalkers are going to get pushed back by the tank. Forge Twilight goes down. We have 4 gases already here. So perhaps going to be going either into very fast Blink or into very fast Templar Archives. This robotics facility makes me believe it's going to be Blink with +1 attack. And then maybe even completely skip the Templar Archives here and just go straight into Colossi a little bit later on after trying to do some damage with 4, 5, 6 gate Blink Stalker or something like that. It's not extremely uncommon, and I know Trap absolutely loves this with these big Oracle counters. He has a single Phoenix as well, either to tank some Viking shots or maybe to lift whatever he wants to lift really. He's a strong guy, he can lift almost anything. But mainly mines or cyclones, if there was a cyclone. Maybe a marine or a marauder here, and that's not that useful to just lift the unit if you can't kill it, but it's still fun. Now, we do see Blink +1, 3 extra gateways being added. It is kind of interesting because we're seeing a 3rd CC here for TY. But he got very fast barracks as well, very fast. He built 4 barracks at the same time. There was some type of a worker cut here. I mean, he's at 45 workers. So his supply right now isn't that high. The moment these barracks is finished though, or these barracks with an X finish, I feel like he might be able to kind of inflate his supply, well not inflate, but get a very high supply very quickly. And from there now maybe do some type of push with that +1 and that stim. Even though it doesn't feel very well timed out for him now. There is no combat shield yet either. Stalker still being annoying. Oh my god, 3 Oracles going into the main base. Once again going to pick up a couple of workers here. 10 workers have gone down already, so it's looking very, very good for Trap, who warps in 6 more Stalkers. He's seen 2 tanks already. When I was talking about a decent Stalker count, I was talking about 8-9 Stalkers. I was like, well, you can one-shot Marauders with this, but he got 18. He does have Blink almost done as well, +1 getting close to finishing too. And here comes the Roadway. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. I mean, if he would have gone Charge out of this and Templar Archives, I would have been extremely surprised. Like, obviously you're still gonna get Charged, but this Stalker count is so freaking high. Like, he can literally just fight against Stim Marines, which are relatively high in number as well. Sure, they don't have combat shield yet. Sure, there was no Marauders with it, but I mean, The fact that TY went back there shows you how many Stalkers Trap actually did end up making. 4th base is on the way for him as well, and for him the real trick is going to be to make sure that he doesn't die to a Raven push in which 1 or 2 of his Colossi that most likely won't have range yet are going to be what's that spell called? Interference Matrix. There we go. So basically a disable on the Colossus. I love the movement, by the way, of these oracles. Every single time he throws a quick revelation on where the Vikings are, and then he tries to go into this damage. I think he would have been able to kill 4 or 5 workers here if he wanted to, but it seems like Trap is not too interested in that. Is there a Templar Arc, guys? No, there's not. This surprises me a little bit, I guess. In that ideally against Ravens you do want to get a feedback off before your opponent can fight. Now TY is just extremely all in at this point. There's really not that much of anything. Did he pull works from the natural? No, he did not. His +1 is done. These Stalkers are going to focus down this CC, but they won't be able to get it. We're going to need to see a recall here very, very quickly. Force fields, not really happening the way I wanted to. Oh, I guess TY isn't aware that there's going to be Colossi, so he uses the anti-armor missile, but that means this Colossi is going to be a lot more useful, and so will the second Colossi. There's still, oh my god, use another anti-armor missile. I mean, with Marines that's going to be real useful, but Colossus, Super Battery, and a big charcoal flank actually coming from that 4th base warp-in location. Good blink forward, Stalkers are running in. Guardian Shield is doing some work as well. There's still 1 Viking alive shooting. I don't think that's going to be enough. +2 is nowhere near being done, but I mean, once the Vikings die, and there's not that high of a Marauder count, like, there really isn't. There's like 4 or 5 Marauders, a lot of them are very low. There's an Immortal as well. I feel like these Colossus just reign supreme and charge forward with these Zealots as well. I think this is going to be it for TY, who still has a 3rd base, but is absolutely not mining from 3 bases. GG gets called as Trap wins this series 2-1. Hope you enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Leave a thumbs up, and I'll see you all hopefully next time. Bye bye.